Tragic secrets that cost John Wayne his life and career. John Wayne, originally born Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa, would grow to become one of the most iconic figures in American film history. His birth name reflected his family's modest background, with his parents, Clyde Leonard Morrison and Mary Alberta Brown, bestowing upon him a name that would soon be left behind as his larger-than-life persona emerged. The Morrisons, of Scotch-Irish descent, represented the hard-working American family that John Wayne would come to epitomize in his later roles. Winterset, a small and unassuming Midwestern town, provided little hint of the Hollywood fame that awaited their son. Wayne's early life was rooted in this typical Midwestern setting, but it was also one of struggle and upheaval, a theme that would continue to shape his life and career. The Morrison family moved to California when Wayne was just a child, seeking better opportunities as many families did during that era. This move was pivotal for young Wayne, as California would ultimately become the backdrop of his career. Wayne's father, Clyde Morrison, worked as a pharmacist, a respectable profession, but it failed to provide sufficient financial security for the family. Meanwhile, Wayne's mother, Mary Alberta Brown, was a homemaker, dedicating her time to raising Wayne and his two younger siblings, Robert and Mary. The family's financial situation was often precarious, and they faced significant economic hardship during Wayne's formative years. The constant pressure of financial instability was exacerbated by the fact that his father struggled with alcohol dependency, a problem that deeply affected the family dynamic. The eventual divorce of Wayne's parents further disrupted his early life, leaving emotional scars that may have contributed to the stoic, self-reliant persona he later embodied in his films. After the divorce, his mother remarried, but that marriage also ended in divorce, marking another chapter of instability in Wayne's childhood. Despite these challenges, Wayne excelled in school, attending Wilson Middle School in Glendale, California. His athletic abilities quickly became apparent, and he became a standout football player while attending Glendale High School. Football would prove to be a significant passion for Wayne, and his prowess on the field earned him a scholarship to the University of Southern California, USC, a prestigious opportunity for a young man of his background. However, fate had other plans for Wayne. While enjoying the beaches of Southern California, a body surfing accident led to a severe shoulder injury that effectively ended his football career. With his dreams of becoming a professional athlete dashed, Wayne was forced to drop out of college. This twist of fate, while devastating at the time, would ultimately lead him down a path toward an entirely different kind of stardom. Forced to find work, Wayne took on various odd jobs before landing a job at Fox Film Corporation as a prop boy in 1927. His entrance into Hollywood may have seemed accidental, but it was the beginning of a journey that would see him become a cinematic legend. Wayne's first film appearance came in 1926, when he had an uncredited role in the movie Brown of Harvard. This small part was typical of the early work he found in Hollywood, where he labored as a prop boy and took on bit roles in numerous films. These early experiences, though lacking in glamour or fame, were invaluable in teaching Wayne the intricacies of filmmaking and introducing him to the world that he would soon come to dominate. In 1930, Wayne received his first leading role in the movie The Big Trail, a lavish production that sought to showcase his talent as a leading man. Unfortunately, the film was a commercial failure, and Wayne's career faltered. For much of the 1930s, he found himself relegated to B-movies, starring in low-budget westerns that provided steady work but little acclaim. It wasn't until 1939 that Wayne's fortunes dramatically shifted. The turning point in Wayne's career came when famed director John Ford cast him in the film Stagecoach. This western was not only a critical and commercial success, but it also redefined the genre and cemented Wayne's status as a leading man. His portrayal of the Ringo Kid, a charismatic yet complex outlaw, resonated with audiences and critics alike, launching him to stardom. This role marked the beginning of a long and fruitful collaboration between Wayne and Ford, one of the most legendary actor-director partnerships in Hollywood history. Together, they would go on to create numerous iconic films, particularly within the Western genre. Movies like The Searchers and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance stand as testaments to their shared vision and artistic synergy, with Wayne delivering some of his most powerful performances under Ford's direction. Wayne's career extended beyond his work with John Ford, however. He formed another notable collaboration with director Howard Hawks, particularly in films like Red River and Rio Bravo. These movies further established Wayne's reputation as the quintessential American cowboy, embodying the rugged individualism and strength that defined the frontier mythos. Wayne's on-screen chemistry with actress Maureen O'Hara also became legendary, particularly in films like The Quiet Man and Rio Grande, where the two actors played off each other's intensity and passion. Their pairing was one of the most enduring in Hollywood, and their films remain beloved by audiences to this day. Throughout his career, Wayne received numerous accolades, but it wasn't until 1970 that he won his first and only Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in True Grit. In this film, Wayne played Rooster Cogburn, a grizzled, one-eyed U.S. Marshal, a character that allowed him to showcase his range as an actor while still maintaining the toughness for which he was known. His performance was widely praised and remains one of his most iconic roles. Beyond the Academy Award, Wayne also received the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the 1966 Golden Globe Awards, recognizing his lifetime achievements in film. In addition to these prestigious honors, Wayne was inducted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame, further solidifying his status as one of the greats of the genre. He was also honored posthumously with an induction into the California Hall of Fame, a testament to his enduring legacy as a cultural icon. In 1970, John Wayne starred in Rio Lobo, a Western film that marked the final collaboration between Wayne and legendary director Howard Hawks. The film was notable for reuniting the duo who had previously worked together on some of the most iconic Westerns in cinema history, such as Red River, 1948, and El Dorado, 1966. Rio Lobo follows a plot similar to Hawks' earlier works, centered around Wayne's character, a Civil War veteran hunting down the men who betrayed him. Although the film received mixed reviews from critics, who felt it was formulaic and repetitive of Hawks' earlier films, it nonetheless proved to be a box office success. Fans of both Wayne and Hawks appreciated the familiar chemistry and reliable action sequences that embodied the traditional Western genre. Despite the tepid critical reception, Rio Lobo remains an important film in Wayne's career, representing his ability to draw in large audiences even in the latter part of his career when Westerns were beginning to lose their mainstream appeal. In 1971, Wayne starred in Big Jake, directed by George Sherman. This film was a turning point for Wayne as it blended the old-school Western formula with more modern elements, such as grittier violence and more complex character development. Wayne portrayed Jacob Big Jake McCandles, an aging rancher who embarks on a mission to rescue his kidnapped grandson from a band of ruthless outlaws. The film stood out because it depicted a more vulnerable and emotionally nuanced version of Wayne's typical cowboy persona. The dynamic between Wayne's character and his estranged family added a layer of depth to the film, resonating with audiences. Big Jake was both a commercial and critical success, proving that Wayne still had the ability to captivate viewers with his charisma, even as the Western genre was evolving. The film showcased Wayne's enduring star power and allowed him to demonstrate that he could adapt to the changing cinematic landscape of the 1970s. In 1972, Wayne starred in The Cowboys, a Western directed by Mark Riddle that gave him the opportunity to expand his acting range even further. In the film, Wayne plays Will Anderson, an aging cattle rancher who is forced to hire a group of inexperienced schoolboys to help him drive his cattle to market. The film stood out from typical Westerns of the time due to its themes of mentorship, coming of age, and the passage of time. Wayne's performance was praised for its emotional depth, especially in portraying a character grappling with his own mortality and the legacy he would leave behind. The Cowboys was a critical and commercial success, and Wayne's portrayal of Will Anderson was widely regarded as one of the best performances of his career. The film also featured one of the rare instances in Wayne's long filmography where his character dies on screen, adding to the emotional weight of the story. The Cowboys reinforced Wayne's ability to play complex, multidimensional characters while maintaining his status as a symbol of American masculinity and rugged individualism. In 1973, Wayne starred in Cahill U.S. Marshal, a Western directed by Andrew V. McLaglen, a frequent collaborator with Wayne. The film, while receiving mixed reviews from critics, was another box office success for Wayne. In Cahill U.S. Marshal, Wayne plays the titular character, J.D. Cahill, a hard-nosed lawman trying to balance his professional duties with his responsibilities as a father. The film's narrative focuses on Cahill's two sons who, unbeknownst to their father, become involved in a bank robbery. Wayne's performance brought to life the tension between his character's stoic dedication to justice and his personal struggles as a father whose children have gone astray. Although critics felt that Cahill U.S. Marshal was somewhat formulaic, Wayne's performance was praised for its emotional intensity and for portraying a father's conflicted love and duty. The film solidified Wayne's ability to embody larger-than-life characters who could still convey relatable human emotions. In 1974, Wayne stepped out of the Western genre with MCQ, a crime thriller directed by John Sturges. This marked Wayne's first attempt at portraying a hard-boiled detective in the vein of Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry. Wayne played the role of Lon MCQ McHugh, a tough Seattle police officer seeking revenge for the murder of his partner. The film was Wayne's attempt to remain relevant as the public's taste shifted towards grittier, urban action films. While MCQ received mixed reviews, with some critics noting that Wayne seemed out of place in the modern crime thriller genre, the film still managed to be a box office success. Audiences appreciated seeing Wayne in a different kind of role, and the film featured memorable action sequences, including a now-famous car chase scene. MCQ demonstrated Wayne's willingness to experiment with new genres, proving that he was more than just a cowboy star. It also showed his adaptability as an actor in an industry that was evolving away from the classic Western. In 1975, Wayne returned to more familiar territory with Rooster Cogburn, a sequel to his 1969 film True Grit. Directed by Stuart Miller, Rooster Cogburn paired Wayne with the iconic Katharine Hepburn, creating a dynamic and entertaining chemistry on screen. Wayne reprised his role as U.S. Marshal Reuben J. Rooster Cogburn, an aging, one-eyed lawman who teams up with Hepburn's character, Eula Goodnight, to track down a group of outlaws. The film was a commercial success, largely due to the star power of Wayne and Hepburn, but it received mixed reviews from critics who felt it lacked the grit and charm of its predecessor. Despite the mixed critical reception, Rooster Cogburn was a significant film in Wayne's later career, as it allowed him to continue playing his beloved character while also benefiting from the star-studded pairing with Hepburn. The film highlighted Wayne's enduring appeal and demonstrated his ability to hold his own alongside one of the most respected actresses of all time. John Wayne's personal life was just as complex and storied as his professional career. He was married 3 times and had 7 children. His first marriage to Josephine Scenes in 1933 lasted for 12 years, and the couple had 4 children together: Michael, Tony, Patrick, and Melinda. Despite their divorce in 1945, Wayne and Scenes remained on good terms, and their children maintained a close relationship with their father. His second marriage to Esperanza Chata Bauer in 1946 was tumultuous. Bauer, a former actress from Mexico, reportedly struggled with jealousy over Wayne's career and the attention he received from female fans. Their marriage was fraught with arguments, and they divorced in 1954 after 8 years. Wayne's third and final marriage was to Pilar Pallet, a Peruvian actress, in 1954. They had 3 children together: Aisa, John Ethan, and Marissa. Wayne and Pallet remained married until his death in 1979, although they were separated for several years before his passing. Wayne's relationships with his children varied, with some of them following in his footsteps in the film industry, such as Michael, who became a producer. Throughout his life, Wayne struggled with personal health issues, most notably his battle with lung cancer. A heavy smoker for much of his life, Wayne underwent surgery in 1964 to remove his left lung after being diagnosed with cancer. Despite the seriousness of his condition, Wayne continued to work and smoke cigars, displaying the same toughness and resolve that defined his on-screen persona. His cancer battle became a significant part of his later life, and in 1979, he succumbed to complications related to stomach cancer. Wayne's public image as a tough, resilient figure was reflected in his refusal to let his health struggles define him. Even after his lung surgery, he remained active in Hollywood, starring in several films throughout the 1960s and 1970s. His ability to continue working in the face of adversity only enhanced his legendary status. John Wayne was also a prominent political figure, known for his conservative beliefs and outspoken support of the Republican Party. Throughout his career, he was a vocal advocate for traditional American values, including patriotism, self-reliance, and anti-communism. He was a staunch supporter of the Vietnam War and made several trips to Vietnam to visit U.S. troops, earning him the admiration of many within the military and conservative circles. Wayne's involvement in politics also extended to his support of the Hollywood blacklist during the McCarthy era, where he opposed the presence of communists in the entertainment industry. He was a member of the right-wing John Birch Society, an organization known for its strong anti-communist stance. Wayne's political views were controversial at times, particularly during the height of the countercultural movement of the 1960s and 1970s, but his unwavering patriotism made him an enduring symbol of American conservatism. His legacy as a political figure is intertwined with his film career, as he often portrayed characters that embodied the rugged, individualistic spirit of the American West, aligning with his political ideals. By the late 1970s, Wayne's health began to show visible signs of deterioration. In 1978, he suffered a heart attack, a likely consequence of his years of heavy smoking coupled with the strain that cancer and surgery had placed on his body. Wayne's tough exterior began to crack as he faced a multitude of health problems, including severe respiratory issues, which were compounded by his weakened state from his earlier lung surgery. Despite this, Wayne rarely spoke publicly about his health struggles, maintaining a stoic silence as he continued to press forward in his career. In January 1979, just months before his death, John Wayne received a devastating new diagnosis: he had stomach cancer. By the time it was discovered, the disease had metastasized, spreading to his lymph nodes and liver, leaving doctors with little hope for his recovery. The news marked the beginning of Wayne's final, most painful chapter. His physical condition deteriorated at an alarming rate. Once a robust 210 pounds, the actor's weight plummeted to a mere 110 pounds as he battled the disease. The stomach cancer ravaged his body, causing him immense pain, and though his indomitable spirit persisted, it became clear that this was a battle even the Duke could not win. Despite his rapidly failing health, John Wayne continued to work. His last film, The Shootist, 1976, was a poignant and fitting end to his illustrious career, as it told the story of an aging gunfighter facing his own mortality. The parallels between Wayne's character in the film and his real-life struggle were impossible to ignore, as both man and character faced their final days with courage and dignity. During the production of the film, Wayne was so ill that he often needed a wheelchair to get around the set. Still, his legendary work ethic prevailed, and he completed the movie, a testament to his professional dedication. The Shootist would be released posthumously, leaving audiences with one last performance that encapsulated both the strength and vulnerability of a man who had been a Hollywood icon for decades. By June 11, 1979, John Wayne's body had endured more than it could handle. That evening, his condition worsened significantly, and he was rushed to UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles. Wayne, now barely conscious, arrived at the hospital unable to speak. Despite the best efforts of doctors, the damage from years of smoking, surgeries, and the spread of stomach cancer was too great. Wayne passed away a few hours later, surrounded by family. His final moments were tragic, marked by immense physical suffering from a disease that had stripped away his once indomitable strength. The news of John Wayne's death shocked the world. Wayne had been more than just an actor. He was a symbol of American ideals, a man who had shaped the public's perception of what it meant to be tough, honorable, and resilient. As word of his passing spread, thousands of fans gathered outside his home in Newport Beach, California, to pay their respects to the man they had idolized on screen for decades. His private funeral at Pacific View Memorial Park in Corona del Mar was attended by numerous Hollywood luminaries, including close friends Frank Sinatra and Kirk Douglas. His burial marked the end of an era in Hollywood, as Wayne had been one of its most enduring and beloved stars. While his death was deeply mourned, John Wayne's legacy lives on, transcending the tragic circumstances of his final years. Over his career, he appeared in over 175 films, many of them cementing his status as the quintessential American cowboy. His performances in classics like Stagecoach, 1939, The Searchers, 1956, and True Grit, 1969, continue to be celebrated, ensuring that Wayne's influence on cinema and American culture endures long after his passing. Even though his battle with cancer and his struggle with smoking addiction cast a shadow over his later years, Wayne's spirit of perseverance in the face of adversity is what many continue to remember. His iconic image as the rough-riding, straight-shooting hero remains a cultural touchstone, reminding generations of audiences of the enduring allure of the American frontier and the cowboy who, for better or worse, lived and died by his own code.